into what the family of Sonali Phogat has had to say, raising questions about the circumstances around her death.
करता हूं और मीडिया का भी धन्यवाद
सर। वो दो लोग कौन थे आप बोल रहे हैं?
वो मैंने पहले भी रिटर्न में दे रखे हैं। उनके पीए सुधीर सांगवान और सुखविंदर सिंह और सुधीर सांगवान जी।
ओके।
ये गोवा आने का इनका कोई प्लान था क्या पहले से?
गोवा आने का कोई प्लान था नहीं था और इनका प्री प्लान्ड मर्डर के लिए ही इनको लाया गया। घर के सदस्यों को गोवा आने के बारे में, सोनाली जी के गोवा आने के बारे में कोई जानकारी नहीं थी।
हाँ, आप बोल रहे थे कि फिल्म के चक्कर में गोवा आ गए
थे, शूट के लिए आए थे, लेकिन हमने आगे इन्वेस्टिगेशन किया, मेरे परिवार ने आके, तो हमें यहाँ पर ना ही तो कोई कलाकार वगैरह मिले, ना ही कोई फिल्म का शूट था। होटल के 2 रूम बुक थे और वो दोनों ही 2 दिन के लिए बुक थे। हमारे पूछने पर सुधीर सांगवान ने बताया कि फिल्म की शूट के लिए 24 अगस्त को फिल्म की शूट होगी, लेकिन जबकि उन्होंने होटल के रूम सिर्फ 2 दिन के लिए बुक किए थे, 22 और 23 के लिए, तो फिल्म की कोई शूट का था ही नहीं, सब झूठ था।
ये कौन सा होटल था?
सर, कौन सा होटल था?
ये होटल था द ग्रैंड लियोनी होटल, अंजुना में।
We're joined by Mr. Rinku on the phone line as well for his perspective on what exactly happened. Rinku जी, शुक्रिया हमसे बात करने के लिए। किन परिस्थितियों में सोनाली फोगट की मौत हुई, इसके बारे में आप क्या बता सकते हैं, क्योंकि पुलिस ने अभी मर्डर सेक्शन 302 ऐड किया है एफआईआर के अंदर।
जी, जो हमने रिटर्न में कंप्लेंट दी थी कल, तो उसी के बेस के ऊपर और एफआईआर दर्ज हुई है। 302 का केस बना है और पोस्टमार्टम रिपोर्ट में भी क्लियर हो गया है।
और पोस्टमार्टम रिपोर्ट में ये लिखा गया है रिंकू जी कि ब्लंट फोर्स इंजरीज हैं उनके बदन पर, तो ये काफी एक शक पैदा करती है कि ये अननेचुरल डेथ नहीं है, इसमें मर्डर का भी हो सकता है इन्वॉल्वमेंट।
बिल्कुल, इनके शरीर पर चोट के निशान क्यों आएंगे? शरीर के ऊपर चोट के निशान क्यों आते हैं? कोई किसी को पीटता है, मारता है, मारने की कोशिश करता है, तभी आएंगे।
और किस पर शक है आपको इस पूरे मामले में सर?
दे रखे हैं जी, सुधीर सांगवान और सुखविंदर सिंह का।
और क्या आपको उम्मीद है कि उनको भी इन्वेस्टिगेशन ज्वाइन करने बुलाया जाएगा गोवा पुलिस के द्वारा, क्योंकि उनके नाम अभी तक एफआईआर में डालना बाकी है सर?
बिल्कुल
जी, शुक्रिया रिंकू जी हमसे बात करने के लिए। वी आर इनफैक्ट जॉइंड बाय अरुणील एज वेल एज स्वाति। वी जस्ट हर्ड a relative of Sonali Phogat, Rinku, join us there on the broadcast. The police
ने 174 की कार्रवाई उसी समय स्टार्ट कर दी थी और जो भी कंसर्न्ड पर्सन है, चाहे वो होटल है लियोनी जिसमें डिसीज्ड एक दिन पहले आकर के रुकी थी, या जिस क्लब में जहां पर विक्टिम नाइट क्लब में गई थी, उसके जितने भी रिलेटेड पर्सन्स हैं, हम लोगों ने उन सभी के स्टेटमेंट शुरू से दर्ज किए हैं और अब इस केस की तफ्तीश मर्डर के हिसाब से की जा रही है।
सर, और उसका फैमिली भी बहुत एलिगेशन कर रहे थे कि उसको पोस्टमार्टम करने के लिए, क्योंकि पहले रजिस्टर करो और बाद में पोस्टमार्टम करेंगे।
जैसे ही हमको उनका रिटर्न कंसेंट मिला, उसी समय हमने उनका पोस्टमार्टम करा दिया। ये कानून का प्रावधान है कि जब तक विक्टिम या डिसीज्ड के रिलेटिव्स का हमको कंसेंट नहीं मिल जाती, हम तब तक पोस्टमार्टम नहीं करवा सकते थे।
केस कौन सा दर्ज किया है?
हमने मर्डर का केस दर्ज किया है 2 लोगों के खिलाफ, जो अन्य भी हो सकते हैं, जिसमें 34 का मतलब है कि इन 2 के अलावा किसी अन्य का भी कभी भी कोई रोल पाया जाएगा। जिसका जिस तरह से रोल पाया जाएगा उसको आगे उसी हिसाब से तफ्तीश की। अभी तक अरेस्ट नहीं हुआ है। अभी जब हमारे पास कोई एविडेंस आएगा उसके बाद ही अरेस्ट।
तो पोस्टमार्टम का क्या रिपोर्ट आ रही है?
अभी पोस्टमार्टम हो चुका है और इसकी रिपोर्ट मिलने में 1 या 2 घंटे का समय अभी और लग सकता है।
क्या सर, आज अभी उसका डेड बॉडी लेके जाएगा सर दिल्ली?
हाँ, वो ऑलरेडी जीएमसी से डेड बॉडी को एयरपोर्ट डबलिन रवाना कर दिया गया है और आज रात तक वो उसकी डेड बॉडी दिल्ली पहुंच जाएगी।
Right, so that was of course the Goa police briefing the press about the status of the investigation. Aruni, let me come to you. Now the questions will of course be raised about the initial theory that was floated about the nature of the death, when many people speculated that this could have been a consequence of cardiac arrest. The post-mortem appears to have put that theory, at least for the time being, to rest, because she was at the receiving end of blunt force injuries.
Well, that is right, Siddharth. In fact, multiple injury marks of blunt force. This has been reported in the post-mortem of Sonali Phogat. Now, this basically raises some serious question marks, because the casting grave aspersions, saying that this cannot be the death of heart attack. They have been raising questions on the colleagues of Sonali Phogat who were basically there. We are not naming anybody, but the family members have been saying that they suspect that there is a foul play in this. They suspect that there is a murder case that needs to be investigated in this. Initially, when the Goa police was investigated, they had not seen it as a foul play and had registered an unnatural death case in this, but today only, after a massive pressure that was being mounted by the family members, section 302, which is culpable homicide, which is a murder section that has been added in the FIR now, and also the post-mortem report now basically raises some very, very serious questions. The family members are also saying that they need an independent CBI inquiry in this. Now, if we look at the sequence of events that have unfolded at this Anjuna place in North Goa, Sonali Phogat, who had gone to this North Goa place, she basically suffered a heart attack after being at a prominent restaurant at Anjuna in North Goa, and then the people who were there with her, they rushed her to the hospital. Initially, it was being seen as a case of heart attack, but now multiple injuries with blunt force are being reported. Who exactly will be in the point of suspicion? That is the main question that comes to the fore. The cops have been investigating and interrogating all the people who were there with Sonali Phogat. All the people remain in the under the ambit of investigation, as well as they have been asked as witnesses as well. Now, what exactly unfolds, we will be keeping a close eye on it.
And Arunil, what's also interesting to see is that the people that Sonali Phogat's relative Rinku has named, according to the police, are also under the scanner. Any idea as to when they're expected to join investigations? Because nobody has been arrested so far in this particular matter.
Well, but Siddharth, there is an important development in this. I was pointing towards the fact that the people who were there with Sonali Phogat, yes, they have been thoroughly interrogated by the Goa police, that is the North Goa police, right from day one. Earlier, they were being interrogated as witnesses in the case, but later on, they were cross-questioned by the Goa police as well. Yes, the family members may be saying that they are not happy with the investigation that has been carried out by the Goa police, and that is why they want a CBI inquiry or a CBI investigation in this case. And the supporters of Sonali Phogat as well, because remember, she was a huge social media star with a good following on social media. She was a BJP leader as well. She had a following in her party lines also, and all her supporters and followers had raised a question mark, had raised a doubt on her death, and also demanded that a proper investigation needs to be carried out. Whatever the truth is, if it is a murder, then it should come out, and if it is a natural death case, that also should be revealed, but only after an investigation is being carried out. Now, when the post-mortem report reveals injury marks on the mortal remains, that also blunt force injury marks on her mortal remains, this basically makes the case even more serious.
Absolutely. It adds a completely new dimension to the entire matter. Let's also listen in to what the Chief Minister of Goa, Mr. Pramod Sawant, had to say about the investigations in this particular case.
गोवा पुलिस उसके हरियाणा की जो केस हुई है उसके बारे में सीरियसली देख रहे हैं. डीजीपी खुद मॉनिटर कर रहे हैं. प्रिलिमिनरी उसको लगा है कि दिस इज एन कार्डियक अरेस्ट, बट फिर भी उसका जो इन्वेस्टिगेशन पोस्टमार्टम का रिपोर्ट उसके पास आ जाएगा. प्रिलिमिनरी डॉक्टर्स और डीजीपी के कहने के अनुसार वो कार्डियक अरेस्ट जैसे लग रहा है. ये इन्वेस्टिगेशन विल गो.
Right, we're being joined right now by Mr. Savio Rodrigues of the BJP from Goa. Mr. Rodrigues, serious questions being raised now about the circumstances under which Sonali Phogat lost her life, with the murder dimension now being incorporated in the FIR and a section 302 being slapped against the accused in this particular matter. And this was after there were serious demands from the family that the Goa police ought to investigate this particular angle as well. Your perspective?
Well, it's only natural because, there was a conversation reportedly that happened between Sonali Phogat and her mother in the night, where she was complaining of being uneasy. So there are doubts that the family has, and since the family has the doubts, it is a responsibility of our government to ensure that the investigation gets completed and all the fears that the family has, reaches to a logical conclusion. And therefore, the government is very, very firm in its resolve to ensure that justice is delivered to the family of Sonali Phogat. And this is not only because she's a BJP leader, it would have happened with any person who would have been, in a sort of a situation where there's a death that's occurred and there's investigations going on. So I think it's important for us to allow for the Goa police to do their job. The Goa police force is a very competent police force. They have successfully solved many issues of crimes before. They will continue the investigation. They have taken heed to the fears of the family, and they will continue to investigate as the details of the investigation comes out.
Right, but Mr. Rodrigues, there has been criticism of the manner in which the Goa police has approached this matter, and the family has been foremost in fact bringing to the fore the fact that a case of unnatural death was first registered in this particular case, and there was speculation that this might have been a consequence of cardiac arrest, and it was only after they reached out to the media, it was only after considerable public pressure on the part of the family as well, that the Goa police decided to incorporate the section 302 into the matter. So what explains the delay? Because the family, right from the outset, has been sticking to its version that this is something much more sinister than a case of unnatural death.
Well, to be very honest with you, the family is absolutely right in its viewpoint and its fears. But the Goa police will have to act based on the evidence that is available to them. And the Goa police has been known to be doing a fantastic job as far as investigations are concerned. So yes, maybe at preliminary level, they looked at the case as a cardiac arrest because that's what the information they had. But now that they're dwelling deeper into the case, the forensic focus is what they are having on. Much more details will come out. And I think it's only right that if a family has had these suspicions, then as the police, they should be primarily investigating those suspicions so that all suspicious causes are ruled out and people get the truth. So I think even if people might say, okay, why were they delayed in it? The mere fact is that they are looking at it seriously now, even after pressure from the family, is a clear indication that the truth in this matter needs to come out.
And don't you think the family's concerns have now been validated, particularly following the release of the post-mortem report, which clearly points out that she was at the receiving end of blunt force injuries. So therefore, there is a strong possibility now that she could in fact have been murdered, and what the family has been saying all along has now been validated.
Well, at this stage, the most important thing to understand is that you have a post-mortem report that has come out. You have the investigations that are continuing. And yes, the claims of the family, because that's exactly the conversation that happened the night when she was telling her mum that, she was unwell, and that's what her mother told the media. So now that these facts have come out, the post-mortem report has come out, it's only fair for the police to investigate it post the post-mortem report. Prior to the post-mortem report, everybody assumed it was a cardiac arrest.
Right.
The family believed it was not. So right now the police have understood, they've got the post-mortem report, they're going ahead with it.
And would you be in favor of a transfer of this particular case to the CBI, because that's also been a demand of the family all through? How would you respond to that specific request coming in from Phogat's family?
Well, the family has every right to demand for a CBI probe, and that happens in almost every case we see in this country. But if you were to ask me whether the Goa police is competent enough to investigate the matter, I would tell you for certain the Goa police has solved many cases of this nature in the recent past. So if the family still chooses to opt for the CBI, they are within their rights to do that. See, at the end of the day, there is a loss of a family member. There will be a lot of emotions that will be running through, and rightfully so. So the government, the police, now that they've got the post-mortem report, have decided to walk on that part of the post-mortem report, right? Let's say there was no post-mortem report and the initial things, we were to say it was murder. The Goa police were to assume it was murder. They're not going to do that, right? So the family had the fear because the family was in conversation with the lady, right? And therefore the fear was required at that point of time from the family. So now that the post-mortem report has come, the murder part is included in the FIR.
Right, Mr. Rodriguez, thank you so much for speaking to us at length about this particular matter. We'll slip into a short break and we'll also see how the investigation now pans out from here. We'll see you on the other side with more news and updates.